Put this camera where we want it. All right, we're live, dude.
Yep.
So we are live, and the camera's not falling down. That's good. So let me get back there. Figure out what I do with my drink. Did I have a drink? Did I drink it all?
The Mountain Dew?
No, wasn't it that Red Bull? No, I drank it all. I got a Mountain Dew.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to our live show with Luke. And so hopefully you guys were listening to us last week, and hopefully the mics are on. It says it's on. Whatever we could watch it on. Tony could comment and say, "Hey, your audio is working." If our audio isn't working, if someone could please comment and just be like, "Hey guys, your audio doesn't work," that'd be great. But it seems to be working, we think. And yeah, so last week we kind of got into mouth reeds, and I made Luke a V-cut that he went home with and played with for a week. Then when he came in about 30 minutes ago, I made him a ghost cut, and I made him an elk reed. Why don't you play the elk reed for him?
Real quick, Isaac, if you could hear us, just give us a comment real quick so we make sure the audio is working. If you could do that.
Yeah, he will.
Which one do you want me to play first?
You play whichever one you want first. So which one did I give you last week? Was that?
So this
bat
one
wing.
is
I gave you a bat wing.
The bat wing. And I've had a few days to work on this. I've never played elk. I never played mouth reeds before, but once I got the hang of it with this one's very comfortable in my mouth and shape. Fits my mouth very good. This one's very raspy.
So not bad. He's never played any mouth reeds before, or ever was able successfully to play mouth reeds. I know he's talked to me about having tried different mouth reeds for elk over the years. I'm not sure if you mentioned turkey reeds, but
this one's a ghost cut, and he just made this for me. What, 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, something
maybe
like that.
And that's how I sound 20 minutes with it.
Here you can see, yes. Sweet. That's badass.
Yeah, they're very simple to use, guys.
They actually went and competed in the Rocky Mountain Classic in Denver on Saturday, and I didn't win, but a lot of my scores were either most of the scores I got on the score sheet were in the superior range, which is really cool. And I think that with some practice, particularly in breathing during the contest and not running out of breath so quickly, making excuses, but literally I was up there and these things use such little air that I wasn't breathing out a full breath, and then I was having to try and take a breath, but my lungs were already full of air. So I've got to consciously remember to blow out all the air in my lungs so that I can keep going for a minute straight, so which is pretty fun. But anyways, play some elk. Oh, by the way, yeah, what have you been elk bugling for 30 minutes?
Probably less. I've been maybe 15 minutes with the Scream diaphragm?
Scream diaphragm, that's what we call it, yeah.
Yep, with the Scream diaphragm. 15 minutes on this, and here's how I sound with this guy.
Yeah, 15 minutes of practice. Now, I mean, obviously, I was showing him some stuff, but anybody can pick up these mouth reeds. This one is for a wide mouth, and so one of the things that I was doing earlier this morning is I'm currently working on trying to bring out two narrower sizes. So that should solve the problem. I don't know if the audio will be exactly the same. I'll try and make that the elk reeds can keep the same blue reed in it, but it might go to latex if it has to be a little narrower. We'll see. But anyways, most of you guys tuned in for turkey reel stuff. So obviously we've been doing mouth read stuff, and Luke in a week has come a mile as far as like traditionally mouth reads take a lifetime to get great at. But these 3D reads, they allow you to let the reed do a lot of the work, and the motor of the call changes the pitch by just putting your tongue on it or pulling your tongue off of it, and it's pretty user friendly. So I definitely think that this is a lot easier mouth reed to learn how to use. But if you use a traditional mouth reed, the mechanism is different, so you'll have to relearn it. So
one thing I will say too is I started playing this, or he made me one last Wednesday. I went to Kansas on Friday and got back Monday, and so I've only really had 3 days. It's not even been a full week. So I did not have this with me pheasant hunting in Kansas. So it's only been 3 days with this one, and I have all the Rocky Mountain mouth reeds, and I just can't do it. I just can't. But with these fit my mouth so well.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like I never felt like a traditional 2-dimensional mouth reed fit me. And I think a lot of guys struggle with those things where they just don't never fit you. And it's nothing you're ever going to be able to do to have a flat enough palate to have it work properly. Now, I can take a mouth reed now for elk, and I can push it all the way back in my palate, and I'm pretty good with it. But that's after using these other reeds for years and years and years, to where, like, you know, most people don't have the opportunity to spend 300 plus days a year playing game calls all day long. So, you know, lucky me. I love my job. I'm the luckiest person. I have a job where I sell stuff to other hunters. That's art that I make. So lucky. But these calls will help the average person to learn how to do it. And if it doesn't fit you, then hopefully we can come out with a model with your input. And other people have been sending us input. So like this morning when I was working on these other products, I have impressions from people, you know, that show me the shape of their teeth and why it didn't work for them. So we're working through some of that stuff. If you've got a wide palate or a wide mouth, these things are freaking badass. Anyways, let's do some turkey reel stuff. So I talked to a customer today named Steve, and he lives down in Georgia. He's had a bunch of really interesting questions, and one of the things Steve wanted to know is how deep do I put this call into my mouth? So against my teeth. And then my lips are going to be up against the O-ring. So that is a very good question, and that's a really good point. Never really said how far does this go in your mouth? How, you know, how are you putting it in your hand? Well, I showed everybody this on the internet, and I showed them how I'm holding it. But when I'm actually blowing it, it's literally on an angle like that. So that was another question that Steve had today. What orientation is the call when you're blowing it? Well, it's not flat and it's not vertical. It's literally like a staircase, 45 degrees. So, and then another thing that we covered today when I was talking to Steve was my yelps. What are my cues? So it's an audible cue to go from the front end note to letting the call. Either you can let the call open up to get it to go raspy, right? You know.
Yep.
Or you can vary your airflow. So like the softer airflow is going to get that front end note, and then more airflow is going to get that rasp. So you can just kind of. Now the way that I do it is to squeeze it, so I'm getting more of a variable pitch, but I'm going to squeeze it down real hard to get the. And then it's just about timing it up. So, like, we've had some people that have 35, 40 years of turkey hunting experience that struggle with this call. Because if you don't play it right, it's not going to sound right. And it's like, if you're going to get frustrated with it immediately, please hit us up. Like, hit me up. Because I can help you figure out how to play this. getting frustrated and throwing the trash can and then trying to go on a tirade on Facebook isn't really going to help you, then you've just wasted your money, because you're not even hitting us up to give us an opportunity to see if maybe your call was defective. We've sold thousands of these this year. Everybody screws up, and sometimes something could shift. So, don't get so frustrated with things in life. Be patient. It's going to take some patience. And like, everyone that gets frustrated is like, well, I've got these other turkey calls and I'm really good with them. And that's great, because they probably work really well. But what they want is to be able to sound like this call is capable of sounding. So we really would like to help you to bring out what the call is capable of doing. And if you're, not a solid duck, you're not like a crazy duck caller, it's going to be a little harder for you. But if you're like a really good duck hunter, then those guys are picking this thing up and then realizing that it's the finesse of the way they blow the duck call, the way they change airflow, the way you're going to cut off airflow, and the way you're going to create back pressure and stuff. You're going to have to like put some time into all that. So
like Matt last week with Arkansas Valley Archery, it only took him maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, to get it running, it took him like 10 minutes. From never having run it to having run it. Now, that's a guy that's got some experience blowing some other kind of calls. And it obviously helps getting like one-on-one instruction. But that's why we do this, because you could just ask us questions. And so, like I said, that was our tip for this week. This thing's going to go up against your teeth. Then you're going to put your lips on it. That's that audible cue you're looking for, is that front end note. So you're not going to do anything until you hear. And then that's based off of that. So this that I'm playing is actually the next version of our turkey reel that we're going to come out with. It's just got some additionals to it where you can put it on a lanyard, and it's got some holes in it to make it easier for us to build. So we're still selling the original version of the turkey reel that has been the most popular turkey call that we've had. And so anyways, but if anybody has any questions, I was going to give out a discount code in about 5 minutes or something like that. The soft bubble cluck. Yeah. So to bubble cluck with the mouth reed, there's two ways that I'm doing that. So one way is kind of going, and I'm holding my tongue against it and not really doing anything with my tongue other than trying to make the air go over the middle of the call. And then just go. I don't really like that one in particular. That's been sitting there. Let me go get the one that I was bubble clucking with in the contest the other day.
Long beard here.
That's my buddy Doug.
This is Doug.
Dougie. That's the Dougie. The Dougie that was the original one. He's killing birds with this in New York for years. So I like to bubble cluck, but that's kind of doing it a little different way. I'm just kind of going, like letting a little air slip through there. It's kind of hard to explain, like. And then to cluck with the turkey reel, what I'm going to do is squeeze it and hold it in my hand like a duck call. And so this is going to go not quite against my teeth when I'm doing that, but it's almost touching my teeth. And my lips are up against this O-ring. So lips are going up against the O-ring around the front of the call. And I'm just varying some pressure, but I'm really trying to control the back pressure. If you held a duck call, you know how you like put your one finger down, you put your one finger up, and you can almost do the same exact thing with this, but you know, one-handed. So, and that's just a small amount of air. So,
Are you like pushing the air, or are
yeah,
you
I'm
doing like a
going,
t?
I'm going. And you hear like a raspier cluck. That's from it being a little bit more open, and then a little bit more high pitch. So, you know, that's how I do that. And then, like, you want to cluck and purr. It's the soft stuff that kills turkeys. So, I mean, like, yeah, like, it's really fun to make those really amazing, whatever, really loud, excited hen yelps, and, like, that stuff plays into part. But, like, soft stuff kills gobblers. They're going to hang up. It's just really soft amount of air, and then letting the call kind of just kind of like pop open as that tiny little bit of air slips through there. And I can let you do some hands-free clucks. So, what else could we cover tonight? We could cover a little bit of like key stuff. That is pretty simple to do in this call, but it's just about squeezing it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just breathing through it. So I mean, that's pretty. Then you just go like a. Yeah, I don't know how if that was a. That's a 3D call. So the reason we make some different models is just to have some different sounds. But the 3D call, it's printed and it's hollow and it's got a bunch of chambers in it. It's just a really cool product. We can make it 100% in-house. We don't have to outsource any of this. We made it from scratch. All the parts we had. Some of the parts we had to buy, but you know, like we can't make springs. And we don't know how to make metal pins and stuff.
But we do hand trim those,
yeah.
every single one of them.
Yep. And so somebody asked me, where do you make your stuff? And like, dude, we try and do the best that we possibly can. Like, let me see that bugle tube. 100% sourced in the U.S. And if we can, we do. So, you know, it's not possible to get everything. I don't know who makes the latex. I have no clue. I buy it from an American supplier. And so every part that we bought this year, we bought from an American company. Where they got it from, some of it we don't know. But we try to do our best to source stuff in the United States, and then we sell stuff in 15 countries. So I think we're doing better than most people as far as like, I think we make more money from other countries than we absolutely ever send out of the country. So, you know, there's that. So export elk calls all over the world for Sika deer, roe deer, red deer, axis deer, all kinds of deer.
I love the Sika reel. That's one of the ones I first started building when I first started working here, and I absolutely love that call.
Yeah, and we might start just selling the Sika reel as a calf elk specific call, because it is probably the best calf elk call.
Yeah.
Is the Sika reel, because we use a different reed in it, and it's just so playable for calf elk sounds. And so,
has anybody got any questions? Turkey reel,
yeah, we're gonna
mouth
get a
reeds,
discount code here in a couple of minutes. I just gotta create it actually. Well, let's create a
elk
discount
calls,
code.
anything, goose calls.
Yeah, the goose. I don't know.
Please, if you have a question, please ask.
Let's see. Create discount.
Those of you that are watching, stay tuned because Drew's making something a little special for you guys for tuning in.
Products. Percentage. So this will be for the predator calls. Oh, and people keep asking us about the bugles.
Can you
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. The way that I purr on the turkey reel, let me finish what I was saying, is we've been trying to source some parts to resume production on our bugles, and we should have that all set up. So unfortunately for the bugles, we've been crazy busy with the turkey calls, but I have been focused on the bugle since last summer. And man, it's great problems to have. Even if they're good, there's still problems to solve. So I appreciate everyone's patience with the bugle tubes. We are coming back out with the bugle tubes, and I've got more ideas on how we're going to make it better. But yeah, that was the carbon bugle tube that we never got a chance to sell last summer because we just literally used all of the parts that we were going to build carbon bugle tubes and sold them way before we ever even got started building bugles, and we just sold them all. So it is what it is. But purring on the turkey reel. What I'm going to do is hold it like my standard way where I have it up. So my finger here is basically going to wrap around the call like that. So that's going to be my starting point of how I hold it. You know, you can see how it's up here oriented against this part of my finger. It's square to that. And then I'm going to hold my hand around it so I can create back pressure. You know, and like you can let some air out, you can squeeze it more and create more back pressure, add more back pressure here. To purr, I'm just going to literally like squeeze it, you know, not quite to the point where I key, but like almost about to where I start my yelp. And then I'm going to go, and I'm going to blow air while I'm doing that. You can flutter your uvula if you can do it. I can't. I can only roll my tongue. So there's a couple ways to do it, but just blowing through it and fluttering your airflow. Like you can pretty much flutter your lips too. That's not as easy to do because I find it easier just to roll my tongue and blow through it.
I'm trying, and I cannot roll my R's at all. I just can't do it.
I can show you guys how to do fighting purrs real quick because you can really do some amazing fighting purrs, and I've actually killed birds that were hung up like 100 yards, and you start doing that and beat your hat on your leg. And anyways, so you can do the fighting purr like that. Just having more sounds because like a hung up gobbler, once he hears that fighting sound, like they will come and check it out. I mean, possibly they might just turn around and run the other way. You never know with turkeys. Like anything you're trying to call, there's no certainties in anything. Like 60% of the time, it works every time. Yeah. Anyways, let's get this discount code finished. So we're going to discount elk calls, predator calls, and turkey calls with this. And you'll get 15% off. So we should make the code.
Live stream something. Oh, live stream, guys. Live 15.
What's today? This 4th? 4th.
Yep, 4th.
Live 3/4. And then 15. We'll put period. 15. No, let's just put live 3/4. That's good. Okay.
So the code for you guys is going to be live 3-4. So today's date for all you guys that are in the live stream, it's going to be for today.
It's going to end tomorrow. So one day, did you get an extra 15% off of anything that's on sale already? And
please don't be afraid to reach out to Real Game Calls for Drew if you're having troubles, or even if you can't get a hold of him, message me at Lethal Strike Bait Co. on Facebook. I'll gladly answer your questions. I've done it in the comments for guys before. I'm always willing to help. I'm not as good as Drew, but
yeah,
I have the basics. I could get you going.
Let me see a piece of paper. I want a piece of paper. There's one right over there. I get it. So we'll write it down and show it to them so they can see it. Because like me, I'm a hands-on visual cue kind of person. So I put So I don't know if this will be backwards or not in the thing. It looks like it is. Can we go like that? No, because then you won't be able to see it. Here, let's do this. See if this is right. It is. So I wrote it backwards, but look at that. That's the discount code for tonight. No spaces. Live 3/4 for anybody that wants to get 15% extra for watching our show. We got 2 minutes left, and then because it's Wednesday night, I got to go grab my kids and feed them dinner. But if anybody else has any other questions, what else could we show them? Show them how you bugle, Luke. He's literally.
I'm obsessed with this right now.
He is now 1 hour into bugling with the mouth reed, the Scream diaphragm, and who thinks Luke should go up to Wyoming and enter the Wyoming game calling contest this weekend, having never elk called? Pretty good, dude. So he sounds a lot better than a lot of guys I've heard that have been using calls for a long time with that Scream diaphragm, and so do I. Like, I sound a lot better than I do with a traditional diaphragm call, so it's not really that I'm like the greatest caller ever. I've just decided that stuff didn't fit me, or I didn't like the way it worked, or I just wasn't happy with the way the things sounded, and so that's how I got started doing this. Like, shoot. It's been 13 years now that I've been designing calls. So don't give up with your turkey reel when you get it. Like I said, it's about changing the pace of your airflow. You want to hear that visual cue, or not a visual cue, it's an audible cue that I want to hear that front end note before I'm going to start trying to focus on that back end note. So it's a 2-part note to make a yelp with this thing. So anyways, and this was the code for anybody that didn't see it. That's our discount code for tonight. Thanks, guys. We'll see you again next week. One of these days we're going to be out on the boat doing this. So that's our goal. It's getting later and later every day, and we want to do our live stream out on the lake while we're fishing and going over how to play turkey calls, elk calls, and whatever else you guys want to learn how to play or hear RBS about. So,
and a couple big walleyes, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe a big smallie or two. Thanks, guys. Get sitting down so we can put this camera where we want it. All right, we're live, dude.
Yep.
So we are live, and the camera's not falling down. That's good. So let me get back there. Figure out what I do with my drink. Did I have a drink? Did I drink it all?
The Mountain Dew?
No, wasn't it that Red Bull? No, I drank it all. I got a Mountain Dew.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to our live show with Luke. And so hopefully you guys were listening to us last week, and hopefully the mics are on. It says it's on.